Hey everyone, Mr. Houck here. If you're watching this video, I am your pre-calculus teacher for this semester here at Mountain View High School. I'm making this video to show you how to navigate my eClass page and also how to navigate Socrative, which is what we're going to be using to do a lot of our classwork, homework, quiz and test review, things like that this year. You'll become very familiar with Socrative. But starting with eClass. So here's my eClass page. And the first thing that I want everyone to look at when they sign into eClass is the week at a glance. So here's the week at a glance, and it gives you a quick screenshot of what's happening this week. For most of y'all that are watching this video, it is the first day of school, August 4th, Wednesday, and notice that for Wednesday, August 4th, for pre-calculus, it says Algebra Review Part 1. Well, that just tells you what's happening that day, but it doesn't really give you any details or a lot of information. So then you would scroll down to Activity Feed. Now notice the activity feed is blank right now because I'm recording this prior to the first day of school. But each day I put in the activity feed what's happening on that day. And it's going to include things like very specific instructions. It's going to include links to PDFs, links to videos to watch, things of that nature. So after looking at the week at a glance, you would scroll immediately down to the activity feed to see exactly what's happening on that day. If you're watching this on Wednesday, August the 4th, the first day of school, in the activity feed, you're going to see things like sign up for Remind 101, watch this video, and it's going to give you directions to get you to Socrative so that you can do your first part of the algebra review for this week. Okay? But before we get to Socrative, a couple other things I want to draw your attention to. Over here on the right side, we have some teacher information. There's a terrible picture of myself, but the important stuff is the actual email, which is linked right there, and the communication expectations. If you send me an email, please make sure that you include your full name, first name and last name, and your class period, or I might not know who is contacting me. All right. Also, you can see the course syllabus is linked right here, as well as some information about math help days. Up at the top, if we click on content, a couple other things to be aware of. There's going to be a helpful resources tab. The only things I have in there right now are the remind instructions for pre-calculus. Please, 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 everybody, if you have not yet signed up for Remind, please sign up for Remind. It's a great tool for communication. Just please sign up for Remind. And there's also the open house document. If you picked it up at open house, it hasn't changed any. If you didn't pick it up at open house, please make sure you click on that, read through it. Throughout the year, you'll find formula sheets here in the content section as well. And you'll also find weeks, the year broken down by week. Again, I haven't put anything in here yet because the school year hasn't started yet. But here you'll find things like links to PDFs, links to videos, things of that nature. Okay? Now, for Wednesday, August 4th through Friday, August 6th, in pre-calculus, you'll be doing algebra review. There's going to be 3 parts to it, and you're going to be doing it on Socrative. Okay? So let's hop over to Socrative. For Socrative, I have gone ahead and assigned everybody some login information. Your room name is going to always be Houck Pre-Cal, and then your period number. So let's say I'm in 4th period Pre-Cal. My room name would be Houck Pre-Cal 4. Okay? Now, I went ahead and made an example room, so I'm going to put Houck Example. This would not be your room name, but let me join this room name here. After you put in a room name, it's going to ask you for a student ID. Again, I've already created everybody's student ID. Your student ID is always going to be DH capitalized, and then the last 4 numbers of your student ID. So let's say that the last 4 numbers of my student ID were 1111. Again, this is just an example. So my student ID would be capital D, capital H, 1111. Let's say that the last 4 numbers of your student ID were 1234. You would put DH 1234. So everybody's student ID will start with capital D, capital H, then whatever the last 4 of your student ID is. You'd hit submit, and it's going to take you to whatever activity I have activated at that time. Here, since this is just a test, it just says I'm able to see this question, true, finish quiz, yep, and I'm done. Okay? So for here on the first day of school, you're going to have an algebra review that's about, I think it's 8 questions for this first one, on Socrative. Put in your room name, put in your student ID based off how I just told you to do that. and then try those 8 problems. Okay? That's all I can think of for now. If you have any questions, send me a message on Remind or send me an email. I'll be happy to get back to you, be happy to help you, and I look forward to a great year. Have a good one, y'all.